music of Benjamin Britten really resonates in me and obviously in many, many people. And he shares in 2013 the big centennial year with Richard Wagner, with Giuseppe Verdi, which is why we've chosen a program very much featuring this great music, featuring what is arguably, along with the Young Person's Guide, perhaps his most popular work, the four Sea Interludes from the opera Peter Grimes, featuring the delectable, wonderful, virtuosic Janine Jansen in the violin concerto, and also a work which Arvo Pärt, on hearing of the death of the great composer Benjamin Britten, wrote a work called the Cantus in Memoriam. And to complete the program, we will be performing the Linz Symphony of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And a strong connection there, besides just being a masterpiece. Benjamin Britten, both as musician and as pianist, was a great devotee to the music of Mozart, and I think he would have been proud and delighted to have him as a bedfellow. What makes the four Sea Interludes so special is that they are not just illustrative. One of them is, of course, called Dawn. One of them is called Moonrise. One of them is called Storm. They most certainly perform very important roles in the opera. They are transitions from one scene to another, but they're also these phenomenal tone paintings, these tone poems, very much when it comes to storms, very much when it comes to the serenity of a dawn over the North Sea. And what makes the Sea Interludes in Peter Grimes very important is that they're not just programmatic. They're also psychological studies of what is going on in this tortured mind of the principal character, Peter Grimes. In other words, while one can feel the salt on your face in this phenomenal storm surging in the orchestra, at the same time you sense this inner storm going on in the principal character. And that's what makes these four Sea Interludes, I think, so compelling, both as tone paintings, but also as studies in a human being. Janine Jansen and I have worked in a variety of repertoire. We've performed in a variety of chamber music together, with myself at the piano. She is as good as it gets, a charming, charismatic personality, but perhaps even more importantly, just a phenomenal violinist. And this will be our first time performing the Britten together. It's been a dream of ours to perform this, and I can't think of a better place to do it than with this great Philadelphia Orchestra. It is something of a neglected masterpiece. It's perhaps because it's less about being showy, in that it ends with this Passacaglia, this deeply tragic ending, a work that was most clearly inspired by the Spanish Civil War, where Benjamin Britten had many friends who partook in this, and where this really is an elegy to those who died. Once again, this anti-war sentiment. The work ends very movingly, and yet perhaps because it doesn't end in the traditional, it's a violin concerto, it will end high and fast and we will all leap to our feet. It's quite the opposite. It ends high, but slowly and very personally. And I love the work. I'm thrilled that we're bringing this to Philadelphia. What is clear in this work is Arvo Pärt's deep devotion to the composer. They were personal friends. And this canonic use of this A minor scale, this incredibly simple method, along with the bell, nevertheless achieves this profoundly moving and affecting statement, this tribute to the composer who had just recently died. And I think it's a tribute not just to the music of Benjamin Britten, but as we are all aware of, Benjamin Britten was himself a troubled soul, a man, a pacifist, a man who abhorred war, who very much fell out of favor with many of his contemporaries when he left for America before the Second World War. The work Peter Grimes, which of course featuring the Sea Interludes, also reveals a man who is a peace-loving man in this very violent world. And this is something where Arvo Pärt, too, in his music and in his spirituality, very much embraced this. And I hope the coupling of the two will appeal to our audience.